It is definitely a sad moment for all Charger fans and myself included with the fact of the departures of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I've got my own personal say on the whole matter here on Charger Syndicate. What's going on, you guys? Jake Silva here on Charger Syndicate. If it is your first time here upon the channel, I encourage you guys to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to keep you up to date on future and past videos here on the channel, giving you everything LA Chargers news. So, as everybody knows, Keenan Allen is now officially no longer an LA Charger, and neither is Mike Williams at all either. So that means that the wide receiver duo era is now officially over, and it's time to start looking into the front windshield rather than the rear view mirror. Now, I know a lot of Charger fans are absolutely outraged at the fact that Keenan Allen is no longer a part of the Chargers. So part of that news is that the Chargers ended up trading Keenan Allen to the Chicago Bears for a 4th-round pick, which we could have gotten at least more than that. But the Chargers initially ended up settling for the 4th-round pick, and now Keenan Allen is potentially going to be a duo now with him and DJ Moore in Chicago, and potentially a landing spot for new quarterback prospect Caleb Williams. It is a sad day for sure for the Charger fans, and as you can see, I have my Keenan Allen jersey on for this reason. But I loved watching Keenan Allen for years, and the time when he was an offensive rookie of the year and somebody that came in the most crucial spot for the Chargers for years, because the Chargers, since they ended up departing from the late Vincent Jackson, Malcolm Floyd, and then at the same time, Chris Chambers, who then initially ended up going to the Kansas City Chiefs at that time. Keenan Allen stepped up in a huge role that the Chargers really loved having him. As a rookie out of Cal Berkeley, this guy was unbelievable. The guy was making catches that no one else could, running the best routes, faking out all of the best corners that were in the league. Keenan Allen was showing himself that he was a true number one weapon and was somebody that was very dangerous. Now, initially up until that point, all of the stardom power and the pressure all started to go on to Keenan Allen's shoulders. It was very hard up to the point where he started suffering a lot of injuries and started, really started to decimate in some areas. But initially, that was when the Chargers ended up deciding to draft rookie in the seventh overall pick, Mike Williams out of Clemson. Now, of course, this initially was supposedly to help boost Keenan Allen, to keep him on the field, kind of take a little more of that workload off of his shoulders. And so Mike Williams, to the point when once he got drafted, he started suffering injuries himself. So again, the workload started to go back and forth with Keenan Allen and more. But Keenan Allen has always been proven that he is one of the top best receivers in the NFL. Some people still continuously shut him out for whatever odd reason. But without a Keenan Allen, a true route runner and a true receiver that can honestly catch the ball from both open spots and in contested spots as well, it serves and proves that you are a true number one in this league. And so for Keenan Allen, the best of the best hopes to him in Chicago. It was just really hard because the fact I woke up to news on that and I thought I was literally dreaming. And then by that point, this was real. Now, the story upon this with Keenan Allen and the Chargers is that the Chargers approached him with the possibility of a pay cut and a restructuring and an extension involved that was said per Joe Ortiz, the general manager. But then eventually more news started to come out from Keenan Allen's camp. That was not the case. They were given one option and one option only. And so both sides rejected the deal. And that was initially when Joe Ortiz ended up trading him to the Chicago Bears. Now, to kind of keep everything in base for the Charger fans, Joe Ortiz knows who he traded and he knows exactly what the matters of trading him means. So up to this point for Charger fans, I mean, I did my initial backgrounds on Malik Neighbors and Brock Bowers in the previous videos. But at this point, you're kind of at this position at number 5. You have no choice but to draft one of the best up-and-coming receivers out of the draft. And my guess is it's probably going to end up being Malik Neighbors at this point. I think of a guy that has really good route running skills, a guy that has great hands, a guy that really can test in the contestant parts of the field. And so I think he's probably, the big pick. Other names that have also been thrown out there: Marvin Harrison Jr., Roma Dunze, Brian Thomas Jr. So there's multiple, names in the draft as far as the wide receiver department that the Chargers really need to keep an eye on. But as far as this, my thoughts on Keenan Allen: I loved watching every single bit of Charger games when he was a Charger. I met him in person in my first ever Charger game against Baltimore in the Christmas weekend. And this was where I honestly bought this jersey from, in LA, in Carson. So I was repping him for a long, long time. Absolutely loved him as a true number one. He was a guy that even when Phillip Rivers was the quarterback, and to the point where he had Justin Herbert, the guy was making catches that were unbelievable and making highlight reel game catches. So at this point that the two sides couldn't really come to a deal is sad and unfortunate. But to give clarity to Charger fans, at some point this was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen sooner, that they were going to end up moving on from Keenan Allen, but at some point this was bound to happen. So the Chargers now got to find a new true number one. Now, remember this: Keenan Allen came into a point where Phillip Rivers was the quarterback. So it was Phillip's weapon for a long, long time. Then initially, once Justin Herbert hit the scene, he started getting really good years out of him. But at the same time, that Justin Herbert is going to move on and get a new true number one. But hopefully it's one that builds the connection, builds the relationship very quickly, and at the same time can be shown as a true leader in that wide receiver room. So I'm staying as Mr. Optimistic up to this point. I do wish the absolute best for Chicago and for Keenan Allen moving forward, and hoping that he is good, and depending on who the quarterback they get. But I'm never, ever, ever going to not remember the days when Keenan Allen was a Charger and what he meant to this organization, how much that he put, blood, sweat, and tears in the organization, from getting into the playoffs to just being close but short, But I think Keenan Allen's an absolute gamer. I'll always, remember him as a Charger, and a longtime Charger who's been up there with greats like Lance Allworth, Antonio Gates, and so many other great Chargers that's been in this organization. So I salute to him. I hope the best for him, but you will always be a Charger now and forever. Thank you so much for what you brought to the organization, and we hope for the best things for you in Chicago. Appreciate you guys tuning up into the video as a little tribute for Keenan Allen and a little bit more clarity of what the Chargers really need to do. Appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to keep you up to date on future videos as well here on this channel. Jake Silva signing off, and we'll see you guys in the next video of Charger Syndicate.